Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Om Shabbat Paramahamsa Parivraj Durasi Srimad Abhay Charanand Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Skan Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Koti Vaishnavinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Sikh Ho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhaktavinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Madhava Gopinath Shyamakund Radhakund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Shri Vrindavan Shri Mathura Dham Ki Jai Navadip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai Shri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai Gangamai Jamunamai Ki Jai Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Sangha Veda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai Jai Nitai Gaur Premanandi All glories to the assembled devotees. Glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Sri Guru Gauranga. Glories to Sri Prabhupada. Om Jnanantanandasya Jnanangarantalakaya Chakshulmritam Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutare Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Tinamane Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shannavari Bhasarisatharine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. This morning we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, chapter 12, entitled Killing of the Demon Aghasura. Text 14 to 24, I think, or was it 12? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Is it 12 or 14? Does someone know? Yesterday we did? 14. Okay. Where are we from? We chant the text 14. Jisvarvakan Krishna Mukhan Nagasura. Jisvarvakan Krishna Mukhan Nagasura. Kang Sanushita Nabaki Bhanuja. Kamsanushishtan bhaki bhakhunaha. Ayam tume sararan nashakritayor. Ayam tume sararan nashakritayor. Dvayo mamainam sabalam hanishe. Dvayo mamainam sabalam hanishe. Istarvakan Krishna Mukhan Mahagasura Kansanushista Sapaki Bhatkunaja. Ayam tume sara nashakritayon. Dvayo mamainam sabalam hanishe. Istarvakan Krishna Mukhan Nagasara Kansanusistana Bhaki Bhakanuja. Ayam tume sorar nashakritayon. Dvayo mamainam sabalam hanishe. Drishtva, after seeing Arbakan, all the cowherd boys, Krishna Mukhan, headed by Krishna, Agasuraha, the demon by the name Agasura, Kamsa Anushishtaha, sent by Kamsa, Saha, he, Agasura, Bhaki Bhaka Anuja, the younger brother of Putana and Bakasura. I am this Krishna, true, indeed, me, my, Sorana Sarakrit, the killer of my brother and sister. Tayoho, for my brother and sister. Dvayo, for those two. Mama, my. Enam, Krishna. Sabalam, along with his assistants. The cowherd boys. Hanishye, I shall kill. Translation: Aghasura, who had been sent by Kamsa, was a younger brother of Putana and Bakasura. Therefore, when he came and saw Krishna at the head of all the cowherd boys, he thought, "This Krishna has killed my sister and brother, Putana and Bakasura. Therefore, in order to please them both, I shall kill this Krishna along with his assistants, the other cowherd boys." Text 15. Agasura thought, if somehow or other I can make Krishna and his associates serve as a last offering of sesame and water for the departed souls of my brother and sister, then the inhabitants of Vrajabhumi, for whom these boys are the life and soul, will automatically die. If there is no life, there is no need for the body. Consequently, when their sons are dead, naturally all the inhabitants of Vraja will die. Demon is thinking, because Krishna killed my brother and sister, I will do the tarpan, the Shraddha ceremony for the departed souls, You use sesame seeds and water. You're offering tarpan, chada. But he's going to do that with Krishna. He's going to offer Krishna and his cowherd friends. Going to kill them all, and that will be his tarpan to deliver his beloved brother and sister, who Krishna mercilessly killed. And then, when Krishna's dead, and all the boys are dead, and actually their parents, they're going to dry up. They'll be the same as death for them if all their children have died. So this way the mentality of the demons is enjoying this. Sent by Kamsa. The text 16. After thus deciding, that crooked Aghasura assumed the form of a huge python snake, as thick as a big mountain and as long as 8 miles. Having assumed this wonderful python's body, he spread his mouth like a big cave in the mountains and lay down on the road, expecting to swallow Krishna and his associates, the cowherd boys. Now, these asuras, they have many mystic powers. They can change their forms. It's like Putana. She changed her form into a Rakshasi, to a beautiful human-like form. And his brother, Baka, he transformed his form into a Bach. Bach is like a heron stork. We used to have some here. They fly there in this area also. Sometimes they, rarely now, but sometimes you see them in the rice paddies. They're quite large. They're about 1 meter high. They're called Bach here. Some people say that there's lots of little small white ones that you see in the paddy fields also. Where they follow the tractor when they're ploughing the land and they get all the bugs. Some people say that that's Bach, but the Bengali Baka is a very large bird. We had some here till eventually they flew away. We used to cut their wings. Every second feather they would cut, so they couldn't fly. They were very heavy. So we cut the feathers. But eventually they would grow back again. So because they forgot to snip the feathers, then they flew away eventually. So they can assume the forms. They're the very powerful mystics. His lower lip, this is text 17, his lower lip rested on the surface of the earth, and his upper lip was touching the clouds in the sky. Very big. The borders of his mouth resembled the sides of a big cave in a mountain. And in the middle of his mouth was as dark as possible. His tongue resembled a broad traffic way. His breath was like a warm wind, and his eyes blazed like fire. I like this description. The middle of his mouth was as dark as possible. These, for the imagination, as dark as possible. Text 18. Upon seeing this demon's wonderful form, which resembled a great python, the boys thought that it must be a beautiful scenic spot in Vrindavan. Thereafter, they imagined it to be similar to the mouth of a great python. In other words, the boys, unafraid, thought that it was a statue made in the shape of a great python for the enjoyment of their pastimes. Purport, some of the boys, upon seeing this wonderful phenomenon, thought that it was in fact a python, and they were fleeing from the spot. But others said, "Why are you fleeing? It's not possible that a python like this is staying here. This is a spot of beauty for sporting." This is what they imagined. Because he's so big, his mouth touching the clouds here. But anyway, it's very, very big. So it's not, you've never seen anything like that before, an animal like that before. So obviously that can't be real. It must be one of Krishna's inventions, because Krishna created this so we could have some fun. So they couldn't imagine that. So, text 19. The boy said, "Dear friends, is this creature dead, or is it actually a living python with its mouth spread wide just to swallow us all? Kindly clear this doubt." The smaller, younger boys were asking the older boys, is this creature for real? I mean, is it a real thing? Is it dead? Is it alive? Or is it wants to gobble us up? The friends began to discuss among themselves of the reality of the wonderful creature laying before them. Was it dead, or was it actually a living python trying to swallow them up? Text 20. Therefore they decided, "Dear friends, this is certainly an animal sitting here to swallow us all. Its upper lip resembles a cloud reddened by the sunshine, and its lower lip resembles the reddish shadows of a cloud." Text 21. On the left and right, the two depressions, resembling mountain caves, are the corners of its mouth, and the high mountain peaks are its teeth. Text 22. In length and breadth, the animal's tongue resembles a broad traffic way, and the inside of his mouth is very, very dark, like a cave in the mountain. Because it's difficult to imagine how you have to go a long way away to actually perceive what this thing was. They just came upon it, but it was so big that then they had to examine it bit by bit. So this looks like the upper lip. His teeth, like the mountain peaks, at the end of his teeth. Huh? The snake has his. I don't know, the pythons, they have that. The other ones, they have fangs. The python not famous for teeth. They're famous for swallowing. Yeah, they can expand their body. They swallow animals whole, big ones. Yeah. So, so they've decided it must be a big snake. The hot, fiery wind is a breath coming out of his mouth, which is given off the bad smell of burning flesh because of all the dead bodies he has eaten. Text 24. Then the boy said, "Has this living creature come to swallow us? If he does so, he will immediately be killed like Bakasura without delay." Thus they looked at the beautiful face of Krishna, the enemy of Bakasura, and laughed loudly, and clapping their hands, they entered the mouth of the python. Prabhu, I should have over. After talking about the terrible animal this way and that way, they decided to enter the demon's mouth. They had full faith in Krishna because they had experienced how Krishna had saved them from the mouth of Bhakasura. Now, here was another Asura, Agasura. Therefore, they wanted to enjoy the sport of entering the demon's mouth and being saved by Krishna, the enemy of Bhakasura. The boys are fearless in the love of Krishna. The boys looked at Krishna and smiled and said, who cares? Who cares? The demon. Well, even if it is, Krishna will easily kill him. We have seen him kill so many demons already. Fearlessly they walked into his mouth. It wasn't Krishna's plan, as the next slokas will describe. This wasn't Krishna's idea that they should do that, but he was a little perplexed for a while. How to resolve this situation. Even the boys all went in, and then all the calves, they followed the boys in. So Krishna had a crisis on his hand. But the idea is that they were so full of love for Krishna, that love is, that kind of love is also bewildering. In the pure love of the devotees of Krishna bewilders them. Even in the material world, they use expressions like crazy in love. When you fall in love, you become lost in love. So that is Krishna's bewildering potency, Yogamaya, Haladini Shakti, that they're living right in the present moment, because love is only experienced in the present moment. So because of that, you don't think about the future very much. Right? When people are in love, you read, they're so satisfied with one another that they don't mind living under a tree as long as we're together. Love is everything. So they don't care about anything else. It's just that feeling of love is so wonderful that they don't care about anything else. Of course, it doesn't last in the material world, but it does. There is that experience here. Sometimes they experience for some time. But in the spiritual world, that's unending, because there is an eternally present time. And there is because there's no obstacles, there's no force like in the material world. There's these clashes that we experience in the material nature, because material world that's the nature of the material world, is problematic. So always these different problems are coming, adhyatmic, adhidevik, adhibautic, from different ways. Therefore, we can't be satisfied for very long in the material world. We can't be happy for very long. That whatever our goal is, when we achieve it, we actually can't maintain it for very long. That is the physics of the material world, where everything is gradually deteriorating. Of course, in the beginning there's some growth and then maintenance, then it actually starts to deteriorate. So Prabhupada says, when you're born, after the first day, you are one day dead. You're one day dead. Then you're 2 days dead, or however long. So that time is gone. But in the spiritual world, there's no the time, eternally present time, is conspicuous by the absence of a past and a future. But here in the material world, the past and the future are more conspicuous. Right? We're always hankering and lamenting. Hankering for the future and lamenting about the past, what we could have done or like that. That's mainly we're living in the future, but otherwise then it's the past. But to actually be living in the present moment is not very common. That's some of the philosophical goals, like Buddhists and other philosophers live in the now, in the present moment. But of course, if you can do that, there's a practice to do it, to live in the present moment. But so what? If you're living in the present moment, what's happening in the present moment? So even if you can come to that state of awareness, of just being aware of the present, what is there to be aware of? Adhyatmic, Adidevic, Adibhautic, birth, death, old age, disease, and happiness, distress. So unless you're Krishna conscious, it doesn't make a lot of difference. But when there's service to Krishna, then that's real. So that time can be spent in service to Krishna. Other time the time is lost. You're just observing the situation and experiencing the present situation in the material world, but there's no real benefit for it. You may be more enlightened than other people, but there's no actual permanent benefit for it, because there's nothing happening in the material world. Birth, old age, disease, and death. That's all that's going on. The living entities in the material world, the moving living entities, they're just moving around, just trying to find a more comfortable situation, and so they can enjoy that situation. That's the sum and substance of material life. So it's not really a satisfactory thing, because you can't find that situation which is lasting. But the soul is eternal. We are permanent. We're in impermanent, constantly changing material world. So how can there be any real satisfaction? How can there be peace in such a place? But that's what we're looking for. That is why it's called Maya. That which is not. It's not here. But in the spiritual world, it's not like that. There's no these kleshas, these forces aren't there. The forces of hunger, thirst, lamentation, heat, cold, pleasure, pains, to sleep. These demands are not there, because the body is. You are in the spiritual world. You are your body. Yeah. In the material world, the bodies are an impediment, a burden, a great weight that we have to carry around and meet the demands of. But in the spiritual world, there's no material bodies. You have a spiritual body. There's no difference between the soul and the body, just like Krishna's. So there is satisfaction. Everything is satisfaction there. It's sat. That's where satisfaction. Sat is eternality. If you can experience that, if you can feel that, then that's it. You can feel eternality. That's peace. That's satisfaction. So the atmosphere is made of that satisfaction. There's no need. There's no want. So because there's no need. There's no need to work. There's no need to strive to achieve something, because there's no need. That satisfaction is there, and the happiness is there. Ananda is there. That is a part. That is the atmosphere there. And nothing is lacking there. Then full knowledge is there. Chit. So that is the nature of that place. So the variegatedness there is whenever one of these Sat, Chit, Ananda, or the Haladini, Sambit, or Sandhini, whichever one becomes prominent, like in the material world, you got the Raja, Tamas, Sattva. Krishna says they're striving for competition. And when one mode is prominent, then it affects everyone. It affects people's consciousness. So that is a reflection of the spiritual world, but the spiritual world it's not. It is Sat, Chit, and Ananda. They're the features, and they also, one is prominent at a time. So then that gives the variety there of seeing, understanding everything in full knowledge, experiencing everything that be, and to experience the Haladin, the essence of Haladin, which is love of Krishna, love of Godhead. So when the ambience, when it changes, when one comes up, then it more or less, you'll be affected like that. Then the pastime will go like that. Either the pastime occurs naturally, or you'll arrange a pastime. So in that way, there's a little future, just like the boys here, let's go in the mouth of the snake. They're thinking of the future. Who cares? Krishna will kill it anyway. So they think of a little bit of the future, but it's not for their satisfaction that they're thinking of the future, except the satisfaction that we'll see Krishna kill a demon if we do this. So they're fearless, as Prabhupada said. Somebody asked Srila Prabhupada, how does it feel to be Krishna conscious? And Prabhupada said, I have no fear. So devotees have no fear. That's one of the symptoms of characteristics of surrender. One should always feel completely dependent on Krishna. Always completely dependent on Krishna. Then one will be fearless. The fear is only coming for the body, right? Or the reputation. But if you understand, first of all, you're not the body, and you're dependent on Krishna, that we're subject to stay in this material world for a certain amount of time till we give up this body. And during that period, you have to tolerate. Not much you can do about it, right? Nature is not within our control, it's under Krishna's control. So we simply have to tolerate that nature and remember Krishna and serve Krishna. This is the ideal situation in the material world. So it's a question of just tolerating the things, whereas in the material activity is all about changing things, changing the future, making the future, changing the future for make a better world, and then we can enjoy it more. But for the devotees, they know it's not meant to be like that. Krishna says it's not a place for enjoyment. This is a great illusion. If this is one thing, if people understand, it would make a difference to the world. The world is not meant for our enjoyment. It's a place of rectification. The body is awarded as a punishment. We're seeing it as an object of enjoyment. This is a great illusion. So if you can give that up, then it's going that you're not going to get any more happiness than what you're due, according to karma. You're not going to suffer any more than what you're due, unless you're really foolish. So why are we spending all our times on these two subjects? How to control our situation, our life, and how to enjoy it. The whole time is spent on doing that. Then when you're awake, anyway. So, but as someone who has this understanding of what this energy is, how it's actually working, then you can be indifferent to that. You got to live with it. You're still, while you're in the body, it's not a question of being difficult to become completely transcendental from it. You'd have to tolerate it. When it's time for you. When it's the winter, you're going to get cold. When it's the summer, you get hot. You simply have to tolerate those things. But don't spend the whole life trying to adjust it. That's not the purpose of the human beings, because all the other living entities are doing that. You don't need a human body if that's your only activities. You can take a body as another species. And a better life, right? You don't have to pay taxes. You don't have to go to university. You don't have to have all these things. You're just free. So you can take a lower form. and it'd be like that. So this is that's the atmosphere in the spiritual world. So Krishna is showing that atmosphere here he's transporting the spiritual world into the material world, as it were. So exactly the same pastimes are going on in the spiritual world. Of course, in the spiritual world, this pastime, they wouldn't be boys, they would be young adults, because the age of Krishna there is like his Kaishar age. But here in the material world, he has a baby and a boy, which actually makes it very sweet, which is one of the features that some people say is why Krishna comes. It's another feature of Krishna, a very sweet feature of Krishna, because as a young man, when Krishna performs his extraordinary activities, it's wonderful. But when he's a helpless little boy and performs these wonderful activities, then it's really wonderful, right? How did he do that? You couldn't. Little boys, some or other a teenager, he could be, he could do something. He has some ability, but a small baby or a little boy, how could he do it? So that even makes it more interesting and sweet. So in the spiritual world, then there will be the Kaishar age, but the pastimes will still be going on. He's mentioned that the demons also in the spiritual world. This is a reflection of the spiritual world, but it's a perverted reflection. So the demons, they're not in the spiritual world, Golok. They're not eternal. They're not eternal residents of the spiritual world. They're just creations of Yogamaya, just for some pastime. They're just created for that particular pastime. So then Aga will be there. Aga will come there by Yogamaya's arrangement, and they'll have this pastime there. And there'll be a body there for some time. The dead body, they can play on it and have fun in the cave. And so all the demons, they come there also. But the thing in the spiritual world, because of the love of Krishna and the absorption in the atmosphere of the spiritual world, then they forget. They're living in the present moment, so it's easy to forget about the past. No one worries about it. So they forget that that's ever happened. So then the next time it's required, then the Yogamaya creates the demon again, and it's a similar pastime goes on. Maybe a few features are different, and then they can enjoy it again like it's all fresh. There's an anticipation, a trepidation also. It's about Krishna. Krishna could have some harm, come to some harm. They feel like that, and that experience of dread when they think that Krishna could come to some harm. When Krishna deals with it, he's in great danger. He's about to lose his life. All the devotees are about to lose their life with Kaliya, right? Kaliya's got little soft Krishna in her black coils for 4 hours. Everyone's just going to die, almost dying, because they love Krishna more than themselves. So they're about to die because they see Krishna's helpless condition. So when Krishna thinks that's enough, it's gone too far now, they're about to die, then Krishna slips out and he begins his dance on Kaliya's hoods and enjoys his pastimes there. So that when they revive, when they come back to life again, they appreciate Krishna so much more. So that's the reason that these come. That's the reason why there's separation and there's union, because when there's a fear of losing Krishna, or Krishna does go away for some time, then when he comes back, it's a whole festival. It's a new experience. It's even better than before. Ananda Buddhi Vardhanam. But then they forget that. So that when Krishna also in Golok, he goes to Akrura comes, They go through that pathetic scene when Kura takes Krishna Balama away to Mathura. But he doesn't stay in Mathura, he immediately comes back when the devotees are feeling their distress. In the material world, he stays away for 100 years. And they, of course, on the spiritual platform, it says Krishna and the apricot leela, then the pastimes are going as normal. But for the manifest pastimes, he appears to go away. He appears to go away for 100 years, and devotees are feeling distress, transcendental distress. I don't know how to explain it. But the distress is a feature of love. Whatever they experience from that, it's one end of love, and then the union is the other end of love, and all that in between. So when they meet again, so it's so much greater. So they're both necessary. This meeting and separation, that they both nourish each other, because they're both the highest experiences. The experience of Vipalambra is a very intense. Is love intensified? It's too concentrated, too intense. Because when Krishna's gone, then you really appreciate how much you do love him. When something's not there, when you're used to something, it's always there. It doesn't have so much value. But when it's gone, then you realize how important, how much that was. Then they can appreciate how much they value Krishna, what Krishna is. So then the love increases. They experience a new dimension of love. So therefore, the spiritual world says ananda buddhi vardhanam, that the bliss, the ananda, is ever increasing. But this is how it works. And then Krishna goes. There's some separation, and then the separation is feeling. You're feeling worse with the separation. Then when Krishna comes back, then you're feeling better than you felt before. Then when he goes again, you feel worse than you felt last time, because you've loved Krishna more now. Your love has increased. So then your feeling of separation will increase. So this way it goes on. The two opposite ends of that love, the two extremes of that love, intensities of that love, have no limit. So anyway, we can only hear about these things, but there has to be spiritual, but it has to be experienced directly. We're making a Krishna park in Mayapur, Krishna Gardens. We're going to make an Agasara. It won't be 8 miles long, but he'll be, I don't know, I thought 100 feet, but maybe more than that, because he'll be big enough to go inside, so at least 8 feet high, 10 feet high, so it'll probably have to be more than 100 feet long, maybe, who knows. But we'll have some of these demons there, so to enlighten the people and how of Krishna's wonderful pastimes. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says in the Chaitanya Shikshamrita that he lists all the demons there, and he lists the different anarthas they represent. We have anarthas for, we can't chant purely because of these anarthas. So this aga, he represents cruelty to others. If one has a cruel mentality to others, Agasara represents that. And if one has, these violent tendencies in one's nature, one's cruel, violent, same thing, which is caused by envy of others. When you're envious of others. So Aga was envious. He saw Krishna and his friends are enjoying like anything. He's a boy that killed my brother and sister, and look, he's so happy and he's so angry, so envious. I'll take this form of a snake and swallow him. So by hearing these pastimes, so Bhakti Thakur says they will free us from these different bad qualities that we may have, like envy and cruelty. So all these different demons, they represent, when Krishna kills them, it's like he's removing the anarthas from us. When we hear these stories, right? Nasta prayasya abhadyasya nitam. That by hearing the Bhagavatam, all that is troublesome to the heart will gradually be dissipated just by regularly hearing the Bhagavatam in the association of devotees. So this is a process. By hearing about the Krishna's pastimes, then all these anarthas, all these bad qualities will actually go away. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur has phrased it like that. This demon represents this anartha, this demon represents that anartha. And so when that mentality is because this bad mentality that causes this aparad, then we can't chant Krishna's name properly with these things. So when we get rid of those, then we can chant Krishna's name, hear Krishna's name properly, and then we can experience or become better devotees of Krishna when we don't have these other things to distract us all the time. We can be more consistently serve Krishna. So yeah. Agasara. So yeah, so Aga will be killed, and he also will be delivered because Krishna touched him. Krishna actually is going to go inside his mouth. And because of that, even though he was envious, he was angry, he was cruel, he wanted to kill Krishna, he wanted to kill his friends, he wanted to kill the cows, and he wanted everyone else to die. He wasn't a very nice person at all. But because he touched Krishna, we'll see what happened. What a glorious thing that is, just to touch Krishna. So stay tuned to see the future of Agasarya and the future, and how Krishna's pastimes with his friends in Vrindavan unfold. Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Gopal Krishna tu ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanandi, Hare Hare Bo.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for Guru's merciful lectures. A devotee should become more and more happy because he's been doing devotional service. But then in my case, I am suffering because of disease, so I have to identify with my body. And my mind is so strong, I am always in illusion. I have no strength to get rid of the clutches of Maya, and I become more and more painful. What shall I do to make myself spiritually powerful and get rid of the clutches of Maya? Thank you. From Lalita Kumari Devi Dasi.
Hare Krishna, Lalita Kumari Devi Dasi. I know how you feel. I have a mind and body of my own. As Prabhupada said, the body is awarded to give trouble. If we had surrendered to Krishna in our previous birth, we wouldn't be here now. So the only recourse is to surrender to Krishna. Samavada. So as far as your problem is concerned, that's your karma or Krishna's mercy. Either way it's Krishna's mercy, because karma, Maya Devi is working for Krishna. She's a Vaishnavi. But there's no solution, there's no material solution to the material problem. Try to understand. You have so much suffering in this life, you have so much enjoyment. When you get that particular body in that particular environment, and then you have to go through. But that shouldn't be the main focus. Of course, it's difficult when you have disease, because it's always consciousness is pulling you back into the body because of the pain, etc. Unfortunate. What did you do to get such a body? But anyway, the bottom line is it's the last birth. It may be suffering, but it's going to be the last one. If we stick to our guns and we practice Krishna consciousness, Krishna doesn't offer a solution. I mean, he offers a complete solution. You surrender to me. But don't try to adjust the material energy. That doesn't work. Krishna didn't resolve Arjuna's concern. Arjuna was suffering. He said, my body is burning. My mind is reeling. Please, Krishna, what can I do? I love these people, and you're telling me to kill them. It's horrible. What shall I do? Krishna says, you love them and you kill them. That's what I want. They're on the wrong side. Krishna loves them also, they're his relatives. He said, what to do? He says, this is a material world. You love them and you have to kill them. There's a war is going on. You're a Kshatriya, you're a soldier, you have to fight. It's your duty. You can't change your role all of a sudden because you don't like the circumstance. So he says, what to do? Krishna says, you tolerate. Tamsta diksha bharata. You have to tolerate. You're hot in the summer, cold in the winter. What can you do? It's expected. So the problems, Srila Prabhupada said, you should expect the worst and hope for the best. Expect the worst and hope for the best. Then that'll be okay. Because if it doesn't happen, that's great. If it does happen, you expected it anyway. Bad. And if it doesn't happen, that's Krishna's mercy. But we sympathize with your suffering. It's easy to talk when you're not suffering. It's easy to talk. When you're suffering, it's very difficult. Because that pain, the pain is from the body and the mind, you see. So that brings your consciousness right down to the earth, water, fire, air, ether, etc. So it's difficult. But it's the last time, at least. If the suffering won't go away, you can say it's the last. But at least you have a good experience. The material world is not meant for our pleasure. So you can take it as in a positive way also. It's easier to surrender for a person that's suffering, they say, than a person that is living very nicely, very well. Because he thinks everything's okay. You see in the history, when there's catastrophes and holocausts and things like that, then people, when everything is taken away, when life is difficult, then people become religious. Because they have no alternative. They turn, God, please help me, please protect me. At least in the Western history. Then when it gets good again, when it gets opulent and flourishes and everyone starts with, then they forget God. Then it becomes, morally and everything, they go down. And then the whole civilization collapses. Then everyone gets on their knees again and they pray to God that please help us. Then he comes up again. So that's a problem with the false ego. You think we can be comfortable, we can be happy in the material world. So when it's going nice, you think, yeah, we can do. Then you don't need God, you see. So we can take it as a positive thing that Krishna's not letting me forget. He's not letting me forget the material world is not for my enjoyment. I mean, it's a hard way, but everyone is going through the same thing in various degrees of happiness and distress and punishment. Anyway, may Lord Nrsimhadev remove the obstacles. See, once you actually surrender to Krishna, there's no need for this pushing. Adhyatmik, Adhidevik, Adhiboltik. This is Durga pushing us with those. Once you're going away, you're going to Krishna, then there's no need to push you, you see. It's only when we don't go, when we want to embrace the material world, want to find some peace and some happiness in the material world, then you're not moving, then you're going, it hurts more. You get more punishment. So if you voluntarily surrender to Krishna, then you don't need it. So that's our bottom line. We surrender to Krishna by taking the order of the devotees, the spiritual masters, as our life and soul, and just try to execute their orders and wait for their mercy, for Krishna's mercy. And then at the end of life, Lord Brahma says it becomes, going back to Godhead becomes your rightful claim, because you're an obedient son or daughter. Hare Krishna. Okay. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Another 2 questions from the Skyways.
Obeisances to your lotus feet.
Locust.
I am asking, as long as I have this material body, so I have the danger of being attracted by lust and become fallen. If there's one non-devotee family member, he has already fallen because of lust, how can we help him? And to what degree one has to make advancement on the path of devotional service, then one can completely lose the taste for lust from dust.
Das. Hare Krishna, Mr. Das. Kam, Krodh, Lobh, they're inherent practically in the birth. Desire to improve your situation in the material world and enjoy the situation. This is lust. You want to enjoy material world, material body, this is Durga, Maya. But Maya is enjoyed by Lord Shiva, Durga, personified material energy. That's Durga Devi. She's enjoyed by Lord Shiva. She's very chaste. Her name is Sati. So only Shiva and Parvati can enjoy in the material world. But we get that mentality, we can enjoy it. So that is called illusion. No, we enjoy it. They're the ones that can enjoy. So when you think that you can enjoy the material world, that's lust, because it belongs to somebody else. It's not our property to enjoy. We're placed here, and when we were born, we have no say in the matter. And then we're taken out, we have no say in the matter, we can't refuse. So nothing actually belongs to us. Actually, everything belongs to Krishna. We also belong to Krishna. And the purpose of our existence is to assist in Krishna's pleasure. So when we're focusing on the material energy, we're focused on how can we improve our situation, how can we enjoy it. So that's not very nice. That's somebody else's property. You want to enjoy somebody else's property, then that's called thief. So that mentality has to be given up. But first, you have to understand that. You have to understand that it's not ours to enjoy. We're not supposed to enjoy it. We're supposed to be part of it for Krishna's enjoyment. Everything can be used for Krishna's enjoyment. And so this is illicit lust. we should see how everything is Krishna is the rightful owner and the rightful enjoyer. So we should try to engage things in Krishna's service, and ourselves in Krishna's service. This second question, when does it go? When does the lust go? When you have lust for Krishna. When you desire Krishna's pleasure, then it goes. That means at the stage of ruchi. So it's not an easy thing to achieve in the lifetime. So when you do need satisfaction, you do need happiness. That's your nature, Sat and Ananda. So you can't the desire for those two things, they don't go away. They won't disappear, they're your inherent nature. But where you look to fulfill those desires, where will you look? You look in the material world, or you can look into the spiritual world. So if you look in the material world, that's illusion because it's not there. It's temporary and it's full of misery, Krishna says. We're eternal and full of pleasure. So it's complete opposite of this place for what we want. So we have to start to look for it from the spiritual energy, which is Sat and Ananda, which is eternal and peaceful. It means peaceful and blissful. So here, keep on hearing Bhagavatam. Everything will be gradually revealed to us. Good luck.
Last question. Obeisances. Most respectful obeisances to Prabhu's lotus feet. I really miss your lectures. And when we are listening that you are telling us a story of Krishna killing the demons, we are clapping and we're loudly saying, great, great. But in this age, the demons are staying in our hearts. Sometimes we cannot fight with the demons. We cannot defeat them, and we are listening to the command of the demons. What shall I do? Can I also beg Krishna to help me to beat the demon in my heart? From Sitala Devi Dasi.
Hare Krishna, Sitala, yes, of course, help Krishna. We can't do it ourselves. These are powerful demons. Maya is inflicting these things upon us, according to what we deserve or not. She's an expansion of Radharani. Very powerful. She's a superintendent of this material universe. She's very powerful. So we can't control her. We can't overcome her. So then once you understand it, then you're obliged to take shelter of Krishna. Krishna as Vamandev, with one step, he covered the whole three worlds. So, if Vamandev is behind you, what is not possible? But by yourself you can't do. You have to take shelter. That's our program, surrender. So the Guru is there to give you the personal directions according to your nature and position in the material world. Then the overall instructions are there in the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, etc. How we should behave, what should the mentality should be. Now you have to take shelter. You can't do it alone. Because we've been trying to do it alone, that's why we took birth again. When we realize we're insignificant against material energy, then we'll take shelter. You can't do it alone. How's it possible? So therefore Krishna has come, Krishna has sent his devotees for this purpose, to take us back. We have to simply do what they say. They know how to get out of the material world and go back to Krishna, how to develop love, how to get rid of these anarthas. They know. So we simply have to do what they say. Ask them how to do it. They will tell you. You chant Hare Krishna. You follow 4 regulative principles. Then Rajas and Tamas will go away. Right? You chant Hare Krishna, you'll get spiritually enlightened. You hear Bhagavatam in association with devotees, take prasadam. These are the methods, 9 different processes you can follow. So we simply have to follow. And we're hoping against hope for the mercy of Guru and Krishna. Okay? So Krishna's done his part. He sent us the book. He sent us the knowledge. He sent us the devotees. Now we have to play our part. We have to follow. We have to approach these devotees, serve them, and ask them how we can go develop our love for Krishna and go back to this. That's what we have to do. No secrets. Okay, good luck. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki Jai.